What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Jermaine Fire himself, Halfpint once again. Today we're going to be talking about the new update coming to Subverse. Here's the big news. We are finally getting a new update for the game coming in October, early October. Here's the points that we got from the little blog post that came out. You know, over like 2 weeks ago, but better late than never. As we know beforehand, we have 50 plus new Pandora scenes, new cinematics, Elijah's waifu quest, Chloe factions to fight, and a brand new Nebula. That's all the content we heard from the last blog post. Up next, they talked about how they understand player frustration with the 6-month wait and aim to avoid the longer waits by going for a 3 to 4 month release increments. In their words, quote, "We have high expectations of ourselves internally. I know you guys have high expectations as well, so I want to make sure everyone understands that we are not getting complacent." End quote. A lot of this initial wait was due to them getting the new staff on board with Studio Fo's workflow. Now that the new people have taken the time to get acquainted, the workflow for the whole team should be significantly more smooth. During the 6-month wait, they also had their fair share of unavoidable delays, such as the lead developers' birth of their first child. Congratulations, by the way. And as a smaller team, there's a pretty big impact for each person having to leave. Coming with the Elijah update will also introduce the new 3-strike system. Needless to say, if you struggle on a mission more than 3 times, you'll be granted the option to skip it. Although this may seem like a cheap cop-out way to get by, this allows the developers to keep the game's difficulty to their liking without having to artificially change the difficulty. Thoughts about this at the end of the video. In addition to the other changes coming to the grid combat that were talked about in the last update, we will receive 2 brand new mantics for the grid combat. The first one is Trisha, a mantic with a transformation mechanic intended to bring more tactical depth to the grid combat. The next one is Jaws, a mantic that has a life-stealing ability. It is unknown at this time if this is exclusive to the mantic or if this healing is applied to any other character. Presumably not. They confirmed that the next release will have directional damage for the grid combat, including backstab damage, as well as the environmental hazards such as explosive barrels. This should greatly add to the variety of grid combat. They then went on to say that this will be the first step of many rolled out to add more to the grid combat until they eventually have the core of the gameplay where they want it. Lastly, they confirmed that Subverse will be released on GOG, the gaming platform. At this time, there's no current date on the blog or on GOG's website that indicates when it will be released though. Thoughts? I'm looking forward to the changes that we'll be receiving with the next update. 50 new Pandora scenes, cinematics, Elijah, the Chloe faction, new Nebula, etc. If you want a full breakdown of all that stuff coming in the next update, then check out this video for more information. I talked about it last time. All good things there, no complaints. As for the waiting period, I'm genuinely glad they took the time to address the concerns on the lack of major content releases over the course of 6 months, as well as confirming a shorter wait for the next release. This was something they talked about beforehand when addressing how to get their new members up to speed. The problem, however, comes from the lack of communication from the team during the long stretch of time. It's understandable that they might not have much to present to the public before each release, but 1 blog post a month is a little rough, especially since they used to give us 2 updates per month. On top of that, the community already has become a little bit restless from the shorter release of the game that was released, which gave a lot of players the whiplash effect. That is a conversation for another day. Either way, it's good, if anything, that the team has been open about what is going on and what they plan to do in the future, even if they aren't able to fulfill that schedule. A rough roadmap is better than no roadmap at all. The 3-strike system. Oh boy, I have some mixed opinions on this one. So above all, they absolutely needed some form of solution to help out the players that were struggling with some gameplay encounters. Although the 3-strike system can help the team maintain the intended game's difficulty, I'm unsure if a skip button is the best solution for someone struggling on an encounter. Sure, there will be bits that players are stuck on. Wouldn't that leave the player more frustrated if they had to use the skip button though? And on top of that, do you still receive mission rewards for skipping an entire mission? I feel like this may be a band-aid to a bullet wound. It might not be within their time frame to get a scaling system into the game, but scaling the AI difficulty over multiple failed attempts may give the player the satisfaction of still beating the mission without having to press the skip button or without having the player know that the difficulty is artificially going down for them. Whether it's artificially or having the player click on the option to lower the AI difficulty. I wouldn't mind talking about this more in depth on a separate video, but until then, you guys let me know what your opinions are on the 3-strike system. Lastly, we have the new grid combat mantics and changes, and honestly, anything more for grid combat is a plus. Both mantics sound like they have new offerings to bring to the game. The backstab damage system, it may be a great risk-reward factor to the gameplay, as well as the whole new hazards that may be coming very soon. Other than that, that's all I have for you guys today. Subscribe if you want more videos like this to show up in your feed. Thank you all for watching. Long time and a hard time. And I'll see you guys next time.